When is the right time to start thinking about retirement? At what age would you think about retirement? This is Alpha Cave, this is David Cruz, and we're here to talk about retirement and saving and getting ready and prepared for that period of time in your life. And I want to discuss certain things about this. Some you may know, and some may be new to you, and some at least you can ponder a little bit more and think about a little bit more. Now, we're not financial advisors, but we do invest quite a bit. And so we do enjoy doing this. And that's why we want to talk to you guys about this, because I think that we can all learn from each other. So when is the right time to start thinking about retirement? Well, I think parents should think about retirement for their children as well as think about their own retirement. In other words, I think that if you can get your child invested into maybe some stocks or something early on in life, and that way that's something that they can follow, that they see that's growing and growing and growing, and it's going to have so much more time for it to develop and grow that they'll have enough money in there that might help their retirement, but it'll also teach them how to retire earlier and how to save money for retirement. But if you didn't have that advantage as a child, then maybe you can do that for your child at this point. But let's start talking about what you can do for your retirement. And let's start talking with the most basic thing is max out your 401k. So maxing out your 401k is good because, one, you don't see that money. If you don't see that money, you're not going to spend that money. And that money will keep on growing and growing and growing over the years for you. And by the time you know it, you'll have tons of money in there. And it's something that you just set aside and you didn't ever worry about. And it's there. Plus, it's tax deductible, right? So it's not taxed at this time. Now, 401ks will be taxed when you take out the money. So depending what the tax rate is at that time when you take it out, it's going to be taxed. So my next point is get a Roth IRA and max those out also. Okay, Roth IRAs are after-tax money that you put in there. So then everything that grows in there, all your profits are going to be tax-free when you take them out. So when you retire, that may be the first set of money that you take out so that you're not taxed on that at all. I mean, it would be great to be making tax-free withdrawals in the future. You don't have to worry about paying taxes. All that money is just coming straight to you. Can't beat that, right? Now, as I've gotten older, I've realized that, the 401k and a Roth IRA are great to have, but it's not going to be enough, okay? There is something else you have to do. You have to try to make investments outside of these revenue streams that you have of the 401k and the Roth IRA that you'll have in the future. You have to buy either properties, you have to buy stocks on your own, other dividend stocks that you know are going to be producing money for you, either monthly or quarterly, so that you have that extra money, or get involved in other businesses. Now, buying properties or rental properties can be a business for you, or actually finding businesses that need investors so that you can make profits from that. So you can be a minority owner in a business so that you can actually make some profits off of that. Now, some of those businesses may pay you monthly, quarterly, or annually, but at least you'll have more revenue stream coming your way when you retire. And it'll make you feel more secure that you can live a comfortable retirement, a comfortable life after you stop working. So most of us will qualify for some Social Security benefits when we retire. So I do recommend that you go onto the website and find out how much you actually qualify for at this time and see if they've done something wrong on that website that you can correct or anything. Because that's how they're, depending on what you've made and what they've taxed, is what they're going to think of when they decide how much you qualify for when you retire. So having that benefit, knowing that number, is going to help you determine how much you actually have to save in your 401k, how much you have to save in your Roth IRA, how much you would expect to get from other businesses, and it will give you a better picture as to when and how early you can actually retire. Now, sometime before you retire, you're going to have to know what your expenses are going to be. Now, hopefully, you're not going to have a whole bunch of expenses by the time you get to retirement age. depending on whether you're buying businesses or something else, but that can always be funded different ways. But you need to know what your expenses are going to be, and you need to know how much revenue you're going to bring in or how much you're going to need to cover you so that you can retire comfortably and not be stressed out at that time when you shouldn't have any stresses as far as money are concerned. Now, it's going to be very important for you to look at your 401k plan, because they will have different plans depending on what company you're invested into as to how much you can withdraw, when you have to finish withdrawing the money, and how it's going to be that you have to adjust that. Now, as you get older, you may change some of the stocks, some of the funds that you were invested into. A lot of times when you're younger, you invest into the more aggressive stocks and those funds. And then as you get older and you get closer to retirement, you don't want the big swing in the stock market to affect you dramatically. So you may switch all that money into a different fund so that you have a little safer amount of money there. You might make less interest on the money, but it'll be safer. And so you have to look into that, which brings me to my next point. You have to talk to the people there at the 401k. They have professionals that can help you to make those changes and make sure that they talk to you about retirement itself, and they'll be able to give you a lot more pointers as well. Now, a couple of questions that you're going to have to ask yourself is, where do I want to live? Do I want to live in the same house? You might have a bigger house and maybe you want to downsize, which may save you money and may bring in more of a nest egg for you as far as money is concerned. Or do you want to keep on living where you're going to stay and that's what you feel comfortable with? You know, there's a lot of thought that has to go into that and consideration with you, your spouse, your family, so that you know exactly where you want to live. Now, what are you going to be doing with your life? What are you going to be doing every day? You know, a lot of people retire and they're able to retire early because they have their 20 years in their business. They retire, get those funds, and then move on and do something different. So if you're going to retire from one job just to go to a different job, well, it's kind of a retirement, but that's just extra money coming your way. And in addition to that, you'll still be doing fine. But at some point, you're going to retire from that second job as well. And then you have to know exactly what your plan is going to be anyway at that point. And I would say if you do that, then you may want to save either your retirement from the first job and not touch it until it's time that you can use it and just live on your second job salary. Or you may want to use your retirement and save this extra money, but don't splurge it either, because you never know when you're going to need it, right? You don't know how long you're going to live, and it's always good to be well funded throughout your life. So these are just a few points that may help you. Talk to your spouse about it, talk to other people about it, talk to some financial advisors about it, so that you start planning for this. And I think it's really, really important for you guys to get ready for retirement, because the years go by really fast, and by the time you know it, you're in your 20s, and then your 30s, 40s, and then in your 50s, and you're thinking, oh shoot, I better start thinking about retirement. And I think that's something that we need to do and we need to consider, and hopefully you do that as well. This is Alpha Cave. I hope you guys have enjoyed our videos. Please like and subscribe, guys, and we will be making more videos for you guys when we have the opportunities, of course. And it's been a busy year. It's been a crazy year for all of us. I think in the medical field, I think we've had enough of COVID, and we want to try to get rid of this infection already. I do recommend that everybody gets vaccinated when that vaccine comes out. It seems like it's producing antibodies. This probably shouldn't be part of this talk, but it's important to talk about the things that are affecting our lives and how this can affect your retirement as well. A lot of people don't fear this infection, but I think they do. They should, because You don't know how your body is going to respond, first of all. It's going to either be a very mild case for you or a very severe case for you. You never know what's going to be the outcome. But even in those mild cases, they've seen lung changes. And so even though you think it's mild, it's still affecting your lungs and affecting your body, which could be permanent changes. And for that reason, mask up, keep on using your hand sanitizer, and be safe, guys. All right, guys, y'all take care. Talk to you later.